Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I'm coming at you from Page of Wands Tarot. I just started doing twin flame readings simply because I felt called to start doing them. So I posted a collective reading for the summer solstice on this page, and I'm going to just move forward with all the zodiac signs because I can't wait a month in between doing readings. It's ludicrous. I'm tired of doing my own readings every day. So I'm going to concentrate on all of the signs now. I feel like I'm sort of specializing here in twin flame skeptics, and this may be a little bit confusing. I don't want to mislead anyone. I am a little skeptical still of this whole thing. I do believe I'm on a pretty profound journey that has been presented to me through a few different catalysts, a lot of dark night of the soul kind of stuff, a lot of personal things going on in my life, a lot of pain, a lot of transition, a lot of changes. So if this resonates with you and you feel like you've been through a lot of these things as well, and that this is somehow coinciding, your spiritual journey is somehow coinciding with a twin flame experience or what you believe might be, then this channel is for you. And I think skepticism is healthy. And I've read a lot about twin flames since I started this process about a year ago. And there's just some things that I really don't care for in the dynamic with the way people describe things. And then other things ring very, very true. So anyway, I don't want to belabor that too much, but I'm just going to try and give a little bit of that info as I move along here for each of the signs. This is going to be for the sign of Cancer, since we are in the sign of Cancer. I love Cancers. I hate Cancer. My son has Cancer. He's 5, and I have another video where I talk about that as being one of the things that I've been going through that was the catalyst for this journey. But Cancers are absolutely lovely. One of my best friends from high school, Becky, is a Cancer, and as a Taurus, personally, I get along with Cancers very well, and my moon is in Cancer. So I'm a Taurus sun sign with Leo rising and Cancer in my moon. So anyway, I like to think that makes me extremely romantic and a little bit attracted to mysticism and things like tarot. So without further ado, here we go. So I'm going to do, just like I did the collective spread, I'm going to do a row for the divine masculine and a row for the divine feminine. Guys, like divine masculine and divine feminine, those are some of the things that annoy me about twin flames. But I'm becoming so desensitized to this language that I'm just kind of, it's found its way into the rhetoric of my speech now that I use to describe twin flame stuff when I do these readings. But it is what it is. It's kind of like they're collective terms. Everybody knows them. I feel like most people are pretty accepting of them. One of the things that I don't really like so much is this idea that, we are twin flames, or people that feel like they're on a twin flame journey are somehow more spiritually advanced than other people. I do think that there might be sort of a soul age thing going on, or a higher level of awareness maybe, where you're willing to just go ahead along with this crazy ride and not chalk it up to you being insane, which is another thing that's really hard for me. So anyway, I like mysticism, but I also feel like, a healthy dose of skepticism is always in order when it comes to the metaphysical. So that's the place that I come from, but I do love tarot, and I don't think the cards lie. So anyway, I'm just going to concentrate for a minute here on shuffling these cards for Cancer. And this is Twin Flame Skeptic. Specifically, if you are twin flames in separation, as I am, I feel like the messages come through the best when they're coming through, being channeled through someone that's going through the same type of experience. So anyway, I'm almost done here. So twin flames for Cancer. And this is going to be for June, the end of June to the end of July, 2017. Twin flame spread for Cancer, divine, masculine, and feminine, 2017. Okay, I'm done. So I'm going to lay out 3 cards in the left-hand row down in a vertical fashion, and that's going to be for my masculines, and then my feminines are going to be over here on my right. And then I'm going to do 2 connecting cards, which I don't look at right away. I keep those turned over because I don't know why. I don't want them to swipe me. That's just how I'm doing it. And then I do have some clarifiers. I'm using Tarot of the Old Path again. This is the same deck I used for the collective. I have a beautiful card here on the bottom, which is Temptation. This is the devil in this deck, but I look at it differently in this deck. It's not so much unhealthy addictions and things like that that are necessarily always needing to be avoided. The temptation in this deck is being described as sort of a reverence for a darker side, so to speak. So not something that's always bad, because temptation allows us to take risks, which is sometimes needed in our lives, and to live a little bit more on the edge. So not always a bad card. I am going to leave that in the upright, turned over here on the bottom of the deck. I do read reversals as well. The first card we have over here on the divine masculine side is the Eight of Swords. And I'm seeing some repeated themes from the collective here. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So this Eight of Swords here can be a little bit similar to the Nine of Swords in the sense that there is definitely mental stress. And there's anguish in this card, and there's pain and uncertainty and fear. However, the main difference that I pick up from the Eight of Swords as opposed to the Nine of Swords is that in the Eight, there are outlying factors that are contributing to the mental stress. So this doesn't mean that everything is all in your head and you need to just get out of that cycle and move on. When we're looking at the Eight here, this means that, yes, there are contributing factors that are leading to this mental insecurity and this mental turmoil, if you will. So that doesn't mean that we can't come out of them, but that does mean that it's not always within our control, okay? And this person, they have their back turned here. And again, for those not in the know, swords are the suit of ideas and knowledge and elements of the mind, okay? So that's where we get that interpretation from. And then we follow numerology from the Ace all the way through the 10. So in the suits, so from the 1 as the spark or the initiation of something all the way through to its completion to the 10, in each suit relative to whatever suit that is and what they deal with, whether it's mind, creativity, and passion. So mind and ideas and knowledge and thoughts, creativity and passion, skills, trades, money, health, and wealth, and then emotions and intuition. So that follows all of the suits, okay? So then right under that, same card the Divine Masculine had for the collective reading, only she was in the reverse. This is the Queen of Pentacles. This queen is domestic. She can be a great career woman. She's in charge of her money. She knows what she's doing. She's confident. She's earthy. She's, a lot of times very nurturing, sensual, voluptuous, likes food, likes wine, likes luxury. So this is... maybe he's seeing his divine feminine as being this just like beautiful creature that makes this is a really good wife and mother, or just a really good partner in every sense, because she's extremely stable and dependable. And again, very, very much of, the earth signs are all about that, especially Taurus women, beauty and luxury, and they like wealth. They like the finer things in life. So, maybe this mental turmoil here that the masculine is experiencing has to do with who he's looking at. Now, of course, this is a reading for Cancer. So whether you're divine feminine or masculine, I'm not sure if this is just the energy that is playing out for you, even if you are a Cancer sign. Maybe there is some earth in your chart, but guys, I don't like to read court cards within their respective suits as strictly being for that particular sign, whether it's earth or fire or water or air. I just think there's too much going on in our charts to discern that at any given moment. So I always look at this as an overall energy, okay? One more thing I would like to mention is for the collective, I did read this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse as mother issues. So again, perhaps the Divine Masculine here is dealing with some mother issues, or some issues with feminines in general that's leading to this. And I see this as an unworthiness a lot of times. Okay, guys, so there's a lack of self-esteem or a lack of worthiness, self-worth, that leads them to believe that, you know, this is possible, this kind of partnership, or there's also a mother issue that might be feeding into that. The next card below that is the Two of Cups. So this is a really beautiful card. This is a card of union, right? We've got cups, which are the suits of the emotions. We have a beautiful partnership here. A lot of people do look at this as being representative of a twin flame union. I certainly do. A lot of people look at the Four of Wands as that, as a signifying the twin flame union as well. So, what is the cause for this mental turmoil here when you've got this beautiful Queen of Pentacles and then you've got this beautiful union couple? So there's something going on there with this mental turmoil, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to move over to the divine feminine side. And we have here the Page of Cups. And again, we got this guy in the reverse for the divine masculine for the collective reading. So here I believe he's taking on a much different connotation. I think that this definitely is, this does have to do with the energy of whatever is happening. This is a cup suit, so this could very much be the Cancer energy on the divine feminine side. Okay, guys? And this is all about recognizing intuition, starting to become in touch with your feelings. This cup can represent a new project, a new idea, a new message. A lot of times the pages are messengers, but they're lowest on the totem pole in terms of the court cards when it comes to their maturity. Okay, guys. So this doesn't necessarily mean an immaturity. When he's upside down, I definitely look at it as an immaturity, but I just feel like this is just a little bit not quite as far along on the journey or on the path. So this might be a new discovery, a new way of thinking, right? A new almost acceptance or coming into an intuitive feeling and into your intuitive nature, or maybe taking this idea of, could I really have this new form of love that I've never experienced before and is really uncertain to me? Okay, and then right underneath that, I think that we have the Death reversed, the close in this deck, which means this is Major Arcanas, guys, obviously much more profound energy and weight than our normal cards. I look at these as being more universally sanctioned, okay, where the rest, the suits cards have to do more with our thoughts and our actions and the things that we're doing and the way we're moving along our own process here within the human experience. And these I get as being a little bit more in a higher echelon of having a divine weight or a universal weight. All right, which this is the way almost astrologically that we're being affected, or we're being nudged into the direction that we're taking, or the advice that we should be taking, because this is sort of the overarching energy of what's going on. So Death in reverse is a refusal. It's a delay in a transition that needs to happen between one way of being and another. Now, there are a few cards within the tarot deck that speak to beginnings and endings. The tarot deck is a beginning and an ending. It does embody an alpha and the omega, right? If you start with the Fool's Journey, which is the 0, and you lead all the way up to the World, which is the 21 card, we look at a journey. And same thing again with the suits, okay, going from the aces, the 1s, all the way up through the 10. So it's like, is this a journey more on an earthly plane, or is this where this energy is of this journey a little bit more on the universal plane? So here, when I see this guy maybe finally going, maybe I'll accept this idea of love and this idea of this new thing that's presenting itself, or that's coming up in my mind, is that my intuition is presenting to me. Maybe I can move out of this resistance to change. Okay, so I see this as a fundamental change within. This isn't like a cycle that's ending overall. This is happening inside, all right? This to me beckons listening to your intuition, kind of going with it, letting it happen, not fighting it, all right? And then the card that we have under that is the Six of Pentacles reversed. And the Six of Pentacles reversed, to me, this is a card, when it's in the upright, about charity. And I always see this card as a giving and receiving, right? This has a very push-pull factor to it for me. So I feel like when I see this card as a giving, it's talking about understanding the ways that we should be giving of ourselves, and such as practicing daily gratitude in order to put ourselves in a position where we also feel like we can receive. Because giving and receiving is reciprocal, right? And one has to beget the other and should beget the other. You can't give too much because you will not get back, and you can't take too much, because you won't be in balance. So this card to me has a lot to do with balance, in terms of what you feel worthy of receiving and what you're giving of yourself. When I see it in the reverse like this, and I see this here, I feel like you are not allowing yourself to receive. Okay, you're at the point where you've tapped out in terms of what you've been giving, and maybe in this relationship, and it's time for you to turn that around a little bit and to receive it. Okay, so you have to just keep going along with this transition, but you've got to stop whatever that cycle may have been. And I just think that this has a lot to do with opening yourself up to this idea that you can accept and receive new love. Okay, so, I'm seeing a worthiness element to both the masculine and the feminine sides here. So I'm going to go ahead and say that self-worth is a really good focus for the next 30 days, because, again, this masculine with this, maybe a lot, he's gone through a lot, and maybe he's been made to feel like he's not worthy. And that's the outlying factor that's affecting him here, is he can't seem to get that idea out of his head, or those ideas out of his head of what he's been told in his life he's not worthy of having. Okay, which would be this beautiful Queen of Pentacles, this stable female figure, beautiful, nurturing female figure in this beautiful union. All right, so then the two cards in the middle that are affecting both the masculine and the feminine here, we've got the Nine of Swords, which we talked about when we looked at the Eight of Swords, where this is a little bit, the 9 here is a little bit more in the head. So, it's good if we're the divine masculine. We're moving along now. We're going from the 8 to the 9. We're moving along in the sense that we might be starting to see that everything's in our head. Or maybe we just need to see that start understanding that a lot of this, the part that's in our head, we can start to kind of sift through that now. After we've sort of sat in our anxiety for a minute, and we can start to move past that. And then right underneath that, I have the Two of Swords reversed. When I see this card in the upright, so much with the Two of Swords. I really hate this card, guys. I hate it and I love it. I love it because it is challenging and it's mysterious. I almost deal with it better in the reverse. Okay, because like this, I feel like this can definitely be two people fighting. But I think in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you've got the woman sitting on the rock with the ocean behind her and the moon and the swords crossed in front of her, right? She's protecting her heart. She's got the blindfold on. There's something she doesn't see or something she doesn't want to see, something she's willing to keep herself in the dark about, something that has yet to be revealed, and, hence the reason for keeping up these defenses. But a lot of times, too, I see this Two of Swords as being an internal struggle. So most of the time I see it as an internal struggle, because in the traditional deck, she's a solo figure. In this deck, there's two. But I also see this as a shadow self. So a lot of times I see this card as fighting your shadow self or your shadow side. And when it's in the reverse like this, I see self-sabotage. So I feel like it becomes super internalized. All right? The emphasis is on the internal struggle. And I think here that there is an unwillingness to face a darker side. Okay, I think that's why this turning away. And if you notice, even the darker side of him is more turned away. right? And the lighter side, the sun side, is more showing. So maybe somebody here is turning away from their darker side, which the twin flame journey brings up in us. I mean, that's the point, right? It's like you met this person, everything in your life shifted, your foundation all but crumbled beneath your feet. You're plunged into a dark night of the soul. You don't know what the fuck is going on. All you know is that you are experiencing more pain and despair than you've ever felt in your life, right? And you are in this struggle with what the hell is happening to you. And then, excuse me, guys, I had a notification I got to turn off. And then you're being forced to re-examine how you feel about love, right? And this very, very profound shift that needs to happen inside of you. Okay, masculines and feminines, I'm kind of referring to you both in the collective here for Cancer, okay? But giving and receiving, what does this mean to you? Put this into balance. Stop giving everything away. Remember that you also have to receive, okay? And remember that you are worthy of this love. I'm going to clarify real quick because I don't want this video to run too long. My collective was like an hour, and so I'm sorry about that. But I did recently buy this new deck. This is Messenger Oracle. I'm still feeling it out. I'm not really a huge fan of the book in terms of the descriptors. Maybe because I'm comparing it to Elena Fairchild, who's just like the master of Oracle descriptors, Oracle cards, because her stuff is really profound and moving. These are just a little bit more simple, but I found that their messages are really cool in and of themselves, even if we just take it a little bit more at face value with the message that's printed on the card. We don't so much need to read into this as much. So I'm looking for clarification here for Cancer. And I want to pull this specifically, one for the Divine Masculine and one for the Divine Feminine. So I'm going to pull a message for each one. So looking for Divine Masculine, Cancer. Guys, my cards don't want to shuffle. Sorry. So just give me 1 minute. Divine Masculine for Cancer, June through July 2017. Divine Masculine, Cancer. Especially what's going on with this Eight of Swords, outer turmoil. What can we know about this? Okay. And I'm pulling Seek Your Answers Within. The pictures on these are really cool. I love that you got a bear here. I'm surprised we didn't get the Hermit. But I think that this is really saying that we need to stop focusing so much on whatever these outlying energies are and focus more on what is this internal struggle, okay? What's going on here with the internal struggle and the self-sabotage? All right, so seek your answers within, Divine Masculine. You know what? Let's throw caution to the wind. Let's go ahead and read the descriptor, 36. If you find yourself confused, your intuition and inner voice drowned out by the answers, wisdom, and advice of others, then it is a time for you to step away. Withdraw to a place of solitude. Like the bear, it is time for you to hibernate, to go within and seek the void, and to embrace the silence that dwells within. Within that silence are the answers to your questions, and because they are answers born of your truths, they will be answers that move you forward instead of holding you still. All right, I think that's nice and profound. Next, Divine Feminine, we're going to pull one for you. And again, we're using the Messenger Oracle deck here. So Divine Feminine, what of this Page of Cups? Energy. Divine Feminine for Cancer, same reading, June to July 2017. Okay. And I get focus and then act. That's really beautiful too with the horse and the sword, which we're looking at the sword suits here. So maybe we need to focus on this a little bit. What's going on? Maybe a decision needs to be made and there's an internal battle going on here and you're not moving. You're not making a decision. And that's what needs to be done. So there's something here that probably specifically with this change that needs to happen, this ending and new beginning, this internal shift, this way we are reconfiguring how we look at giving and receiving, okay? This is talking about movement. So an actual action that needs to be taken here. So whatever that means to you, Divine Feminines, for Cancer, focus and then act. However you bring that into form, okay? But you need to bring something into form. Masculines need to go within for the next 30 days, okay? Go within and understand these worthiness issues, all right? And Divine Feminines have something else to figure out here and something to confront. So this card, I'll read it real quick, the focus and then act, because I know it says something about not sitting still for too long. There is something you want or need to make manifest, but to make your dreams a reality, you must focus your will upon that desire and do what needs to be done. Prayer alone will not give you that which you desire. There are things that you must do in order to have your hopes realized. Now is not the time for stillness or passivity. Now is the time to focus your will, your thoughts and emotions, and to get up and take the necessary steps. Again, whatever this ending is that you're avoiding, guys, you need to move through it, okay? So that's it. Those are my messages for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine for Cancer for June to July. I'm going to pull one more. And guys, don't forget we had the Temptation card on the bottom of the deck there. So if there's a risk that needs to be taken with you guys, or if there's something that you need to kind of break away from that's maybe not serving your highest good, keep that in mind as well. You know, so that might be a factor for either one of you guys. So for last message, sorry, I just can't help myself. Divine Masculine, we're looking at, this is funny, playfulness. I got this card this morning. Not taking everything so seriously, guys. Okay? Yes, that need to go within is important, but especially with this stuff going on, like, try to get yourselves out of that a little bit, okay? Go within, but also try and find some joy, all right? And try and maybe that will lead to a sense of how you can feel worthy, all right? With receiving, being in these relationships, whatever this relationship is with this feminine that you're struggling with, whether it's a mother or mother figure or your divine feminine, whomever it may be. And then Divine Feminines, I get nature. This is really beautiful. And again, this is all about whatever it is you have to focus and act on, whatever it is you need to let end, and the way you need to move forward. Go out in nature, take a walk, clear your head, and maybe find some synchronicities and some signs in nature because they're all around you. All right? So that wraps it up, guys. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. And I'm going to try to get better at making these videos. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day.